how did the film come about? Basically, the film came about because, well, okay, basically, in the UK, in Britain, children can't box. I think, I don't know, I'm not sure the age, 11, I don't know. But anyway, um, parents and the British public, uh, they, boxing seemed to die away in schools and stuff, whatever. And people don't know who's in the ABAs anymore. Actually, I don't think it's called the ABAs anymore. But people lost interest. Trouble, I can see their point to a certain degree. I love following boxing and stuff, but in a 3 round contest, if I win the first round, I go out, box really well. I win the first round. I win the second round. It means to beat me, you've got to knock me out in the final round because I won. It's two rounds to one, and I think the general public kind of got a bit, don't really care anymore. Situation, and loads of different rules and all kinds of things started to change their opinion. So they, the ordinary Joe on the street don't know who's in the ABAs, and they probably don't know it's not even called the ABAs anymore. That's not to say that I don't like it, by the way. I just want to make that sure. But that's, nobody cares. Well, not say nobody, but the vast majority of people don't really know who's in there and don't really care, unless it's being pushed out on Facebook or on YouTube. A particular person. In fact, the girls are doing really well. A lot of people really know a lot more of the girls than they do the guys. So anyway, we had been doing a blueprint structure for many years of how to develop kids, and not just to do to boxing. We teach more kind of stuff, but it's just boxing has there's a fear factor there. You have to be a little bit not scared, but someone can bash you up. I better be good, so I better train properly. It does get you off those Xboxes, it does get you off the PlayStations, it gets you off the internet when you know that I'm training for someone and in 3 weeks time I'm fighting them. I better be training, better be running, better do my sit-ups, better do my calisthenics, better do my boxing, better do my sparring, etc. So we kind of put a blueprint together for a young kid to be able to do it professionally with everything involved. That's the media, that's talking, that's the head-to-heads, that's the everything, just everything. It just so happened that whilst two of our kids were training for a fight, and who were 10, Mayweather and Pacquiao had been made, and it seemed like a good idea to box pretty much on the same day. The problem that you have is sponsorship, because they are 10. Now we've got a blueprint to teach our kids to box really well and to make it so you don't get hit. We don't wear any head guards, and everybody goes, oh, head guards, head guards. There's more brain damage, trust me, with wearing a head guard and how the glove hits the head guards than without head guards, by the way. So for people that want to be shouting about that, you go and do the maths, whatever. And the other thing is, when you haven't got a head guard on, when you get hit with a head guard on, sometimes you sort of take the knocks because you've got a head guard on, so you're kind of almost allowing yourself sometimes to get hit. When you haven't got a head guard on, you don't want to get hit in the head. It makes you better. Trust me, it makes you better. So anyway, what happens is we've been able to train people to do 12 rounds with no head guards, and to do 12 rounds. That's a championship rounds. That's something that most guys who enter boxing who won't get to be a world champion will never ever do. They'll do rounds and rounds in the gym, but they'll never do a bout where they're doing 12 rounds unless they're champion. So we kind of did, this is a situation that we did. Some kids don't want to just do 3 round bouts everywhere, like let's go all around the country and just do 3 rounds. Just like I said, they want to get stuck in and whatnot, and they can't. So you have to have gyms open that actually, be able to. We do some good 5 rounders, 10 rounders, and 12 rounders. We basically, what happened was the Chinese association stepped in for sponsorship and insurance and stuff like that, and we ended up doing a film, and it's basically based on a month in the life of four kids who boxed on the same day as Mayweather Pacquiao. And whilst the biggest fight in the world is going on, another fight in which a lot of people can't see because, oh, kids fighting over 12 rounds and no head guards and all that. So it's kind of about that realistically. It's about the training and the situation with Pacquiao and Mayweather, but it's also about the training of four kids, two of which are 10, with an outcome, whatever. Many people who've watched that film feel that entertainment value, the kids putting on good performances, was just as good as Mayweather. No, I'm not saying that they're better than Mayweather. It'd be silly to say. But I'm saying about kids who get stuck in over 12 rounds. They got stuck in over 12 rounds. Were they tired and knackered and couldn't talk and were beat up afterwards? No. Did they throw punches? Plenty of them. Plenty of them. A lot more than Pacquiao threw, by the way. When you see the fight, when you see the film, you'll maybe see that. Are they better than Pacquiao? No. But I'm just saying they threw more punches than Pacquiao. He threw 500 punches at Mayweather. You need to throw 1,000 punches at Mayweather to get anywhere near winning a fight with him. So, the blueprint has also been able to go into other martial art groups, other boxing situations, not just in the UK, but also in Ireland and abroad, talking about France, Germany, etc. So it's a good, interesting film. We teach much more than boxing, by the way. We're probably one of the only groups who teach 400 different martial arts. They're also listed on our martial arts site for people that don't believe there is 400 martial arts. There is. It's an interesting situation. It does get them off the PlayStation. It does get them off the Xbox. It does get them off the internet. It does get them to not do anything. There is a fear factor there. Meaning that there's an opponent and he can punch me, and someone has to do something. We designed a program that kind of works, and we're happy with the outcome. People seem happy with the outcome, and now people are boxing on those blueprints around the country already. So I guess it was really good. I need to thank Chang Fun Federation, the Chinese Federation, that we couldn't have done it without them. And it does show people in the UK, look, smarten up. Just amateur boxing. It's a difficult one because are they going to be? I'm saying it's the A to Z of boxing. I'm not saying that they're pros and get paid as pros. Although these kids did get paid, and they have got sponsors behind them, by the way, as well. Not just Chang Fun, but actual local sponsors that sponsored them and pay them. But what I'm saying is they need something to feel like a pro. They need to be able to do those big rounds. They need to be able to training camp where they are going to do head-to-head. They need to have tables and stuff where they are talking and being interviewed and all that lot. And this film shows that. And I think that many an amateur will not make it in a pro game. He's going to have his head guard on until he's a pro, and then he's going to take his head guard off. Changing from an amateur to a pro in boxing is two different things. You can have the most glittering amateur in the world, whatever. Changing to a pro, completely different. And sometimes, they do 7-8 years an amateur, and then to be a pro, and then they stop, whatever. So we're doing it. We're making a very quick transition, and I think when you see some of the fighters, and certainly when you see the film, you'll agree. It's not for everybody. I know that boxing definitely isn't. We do more than boxing, so it isn't for everybody. But at the same time, in the way of discipline, and you have to be massively disciplined. These kids have to train some between 12, 15, 20 sessions per month.